What's up, squad? Back with another video. I seen that title's going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. Before we get in this video, I want to show y'all this video first. It starts with the facts. Starts with, things that has been going down, within Minnesota. You literally have right here, and this is a question, this is obviously a 2-minute video, so y'all see multiple things here, multiple things. So Somalians are the backbone of Minnesota. Why are nearly 80% of them still on welfare after being here for 10 plus years? And this is true facts. This is true facts. I want y'all to hear this. Check it out.
Mr. Balu, again, thank you for being here. Let me ask you, does large-scale Somali immigration make Minnesota stronger or weaker?
Certainly stronger.
Certainly stronger. Do you know what percentage of Somali-headed households in Minnesota are on food stamps?
No.
54%. Do you know what that number is for native Minnesota-headed households?
Well, to be clear, a majority of the...
It's 7%. There's a big difference between 54% and 7%, is there not?
Excuse me, sir. Could I answer the question?
Let me move on. We've got a lot of questions here. What percentage of Somali-headed households in Minnesota are on Medicaid?
I don't know.
It's 73%. Do you know what that number is for Minnesota native households?
Again, you're using the phrase Minnesota native households, but the majority...
The number is 18%. That's quite an astounding difference. I think we would agree.
Can I answer the question, please?
Let me ask you one more, and then we can go on to that. What percentage of Somali-headed households are on welfare in general?
I don't know.
It's 81%. What about... let me just ask you, after 10 years of being in the United States, what percentage of Somali immigrant households continue to be on welfare?
I don't know.
The number is 78%. So even after 10 years, 78% of...
So this literally just goes to show you with him saying he doesn't know how complete, gotta watch my words. It's just foolishness for you not to know nothing. Y'all know who else don't know nothing? Fry. Mayor Fry won't. He literally doesn't know anything. I don't know. Ain't got it together, y'all.
Somali immigrant households continue to be on welfare. Do you know what that number is for native Minnesota-headed households?
Again, you're using
non-Somali immigrant-headed households.
If I can just answer the question, when you're using the phrase native Minnesotans, the majority of Somali Minnesotans are as Minnesotan as any of us. They were born in the United States. It's only 8,000 of the 108,000 Somali.
Nevertheless, the welfare usage is astoundingly different. Let me ask you again, does that make Minnesota stronger or weaker?
Again, I'd like the opportunity to answer the question here. Again, the majority of Somali Minnesotans are born in the United States, as I understand it.
Okay, well, what percentage of working-age Somalians who have been in the U.S. for 10 years or more, how many of them speak English very well?
I don't know.
About half. The answer is about half. That seems pretty low, doesn't it?
Again,
me personally, that's very low. There's a lot of things within this. It's definitely sad that you have individuals that are on welfare for a while. We're not talking about that just got on welfare, get on your feet. Everything is good. These individuals are literally, and this where it begins on with the fraud too. You may have individuals that actually need it, but there's a lot of individuals that don't. They've been here for 10 years on welfare, y'all. Not only that, but also business owners. I find that completely wild. Not only that, not even trying to be that person, but just like it said at the end, how are you here, so-called? A lot of these individuals are born in the United States, this, that, and that's how I know this is complete BS. How are only, nearly almost 50% of them know how to speak English? Just a little bit? That's insane to me, bro. That's insane to me. You telling me if you lived in a different country, I'm talking about, say you lived in Mexico, or you live somewhere else. Not even trying to be that person. Say you live somewhere else. You been there for 10 years, you gonna know something. You gonna know something so good, you come back to the United States talking to your family, and you gonna forget how to speak English. I'm saying, bro, I'm telling y'all, bro, it's not, this ain't right. It's definitely not right. Before we get more into this video, I'm going to show y'all here. This Tom Home and Just Revealed Minnesota counties are letting ICE into the jails to arrest illegals. I'm telling y'all. Say they caved. Illegals are being arrested instead of being released into Minnesota. This is huge. Tom Home did it. Check it out right here. Tom Home.
Attorney General Mayor Fry and law enforcement officials about increasing coordination in a lawful way between the county jails and ICE to avoid public safety threats being released back in the community. While we had our differences, one thing was clear: we all committed to public safety for all who live in the Twin Cities. We have made significant progress under the direction of President Trump, working with state and local officials here in Minnesota, and I expect that to increase in the coming weeks. We continue to have discussions. I'll have discussions this afternoon. We currently have an unprecedented number of counties communicating with us now and allowing ICE to take custody of illegal aliens before they hit the streets. Unprecedented cooperation. And I'll say it again. This is efficient. It requires only 1 or 2 officers to assume custody of a criminal alien target rather than 8 or 10 officers going into the community and arresting that public safety threat. This frees up more officers to arrest or remove criminal aliens. More officers taking custody of criminal aliens directly from the jails means less officers on the street doing criminal operations. This is smart law enforcement, not less law enforcement. It's safer for the community, safer for the officers, and safer for the alien. This coordination also makes it far more safe for the Twin Cities.
It definitely does, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know about y'all, but set a simple poll. Please be honest. After today, how much do you still trust and support Tom Homan and everything he did? Me personally, 100%. Not even gonna lie. Definitely do. But it gets worse. Americans are telling the Minnesota Somali community to basically leave after they demand reparations because of the damage done by ICE. Bro, they are demanding reparations because of the so-called damage by ICE. It's time to go. It's time.
Relief program fits into our criteria of small business owners, not those who make 200,000 and above. We don't make that much amount. We have been suffering since the crisis of ICE. We also demand an immediate help to evictions so families are not pushed to homelessness during the crisis. Our community deserves accountability. Our community deserves safety. We need also justice for those who lost their lives defending the community.
This lady just said, what? Hold on, let me make sure.
So justice for those who lost their lives defending the community.
Where were they at when I'm not even this ain't even about taking up for an individual or this, that, and other. Where were they at when Alex Pretty and Renee Good? They wasn't protesting, they wasn't doing none of that. But now all of a sudden, they're literally doing everything in their faces, bro. When I tell y'all they doing everything in their face, they literally playing in their face. The people that's out there supporting, out there protesting, doing this and doing that, I promise y'all, they out there laughing in their face, bro. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. They're literally out there laughing, and they out. Y'all see them right there? All the Somalians, they. I find it completely insane, bro. I truly find it completely insane and completely funny because it's like, bro, they didn't go to no candlelight. They ain't out there protesting, out there rioting. They ain't doing nothing. They out there collecting money. They getting food stamps. They ain't even paying rent. They out there doing, I'm talking about whatever. They don't care about nothing, bro. But then she want to say and get justice. Now it's that. And it ain't trust and believe. This ain't really got much to do with us. But the people in Minnesota, the individuals out here speaking, talking about they want reparations, and they doing this, doing that, they doing all this in y'all face, bro. Everything. Y'all out there really doing this and doing that with some Somalians that, for one, ain't even trying to be that person, barely speak English. They ain't trying to learn English. They said themselves they ain't trying to learn English. They getting assistance. I know some of y'all got family. I did. I've had family members that have been having trouble. I'm talking about serve for this country. Having trouble getting assistance. But they get it. As soon as they land, 7 bands in their pocket. Not only that, they getting assistance on living, transportation, food stamps, the whole 9. Not only that, and we ain't done. We bringing in the fraud. Oh, okay, let's throw some more money in your pocket. Not only that, we still going. What else, Reckless? I'm going to tell you. A lot of these individuals got small businesses. We talking about just some of them. We got ones that got big businesses. That's getting paid. Driving nice cars. Benz. We talking about a Benz. Them Audis. Come on now. Them new Kias. Hey, don't think the thing is bread. Money is money. It don't matter if the car is 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. It's still a brand new car. They getting it. And it's them same people that's out there protesting. Same people that's out there doing whatever, putting their life on the line. Literally. People that's out there that's working hard. And I'm speaking on the people that's at the protest. People that's doing that. Them crazy things out there. These Somali, they don't care. When are people going to start realizing that? This lady asked for reparations. And she ain't stepped a lick outside. How they talking about they want justice for this person, that person. This, that, and the other. And they talking about they scared to go outside. They don't want to deal with ICE. Make that make sense. They don't care about y'all, bro. Minnesota Somali demand again reparations, but can't speak English.
We have suffering sons starting for ICE. We wanna whoever bring over here, we wanna they pay. Only that's what I'm saying. And I'm asking our governor and our state. We are taxpayer. We need pay back whatever they committed ICE. Thank you very much. We have suffering sons.
Listen, just listen what she said right here.
Starting for ICE. We wanna whoever bring over here, we wanna they pay. Only that's what I'm saying. And I'm asking our governor and our state. We are taxpayer. We need pay back whatever they committed ICE. Thank you very much.
For these individuals to be here for 10 years, bro, my 2-year-old speak wait, man, let me stop, bro. I ain't even about to go there with them today. Cause then it ain't gonna do nothing but make me even more mad. And I ain't even trying to go there today. I'm just trying to calm down. Got it right here. Ilhan Omar is furious after she tried to see illegals in Minnesota. But ICE deported them before she got there. Check it out. Ilhan Omar.
Thank you. When did you give notice? And I just want to make sure you did not see any detainees.
No, we gave notice 8 days ago. We got confirmation yesterday that we were going to be allowed in. And the last detainee was taken out at 11:30 a.m., 30 minutes before we were set to arrive.
What about the children who were released in T-shirts on Wednesday?
And we also did ask, how many people came through today, which is why it felt convenient that no one was there. They said 10 when we first got there, and 10 were gone. And then they said there were another 5. And so I circled back and I said, can we go and see the 5 that are here, because we have privacy release forms? And they said, no, we cannot permit you to go into the cell to see the detainees. And I said, well, we don't need to go into the cell. We can, put the forms, slide them in, and then we can look through the glass and see what their conditions look like. And then they oohed and ahed for a little bit, and then conveniently, as they were taking us towards the cell, someone said, there's not a single person left, and they took us into an empty cell. So it's just the timeline and the stories seem very convenient for what they really were working very hard for us not to see and witness. But thank you all.
So basically, they did their job, and they tried to interfere. Okay. So yeah, you got. I'm trying to get it all together. That's basically what it was. Doing your job. Obviously, you've been illegal. It's the law. You get to put it back. I don't know what she think. Like I just be so confused on with Ilhan Omar. I'm highly confused. Just check it out right here.
What I will say is that there is an easier conversation happening today than 6-7 years ago when I got to Congress about what we need to do with ICE, which is to abolish it. And there is a lot of conversation about what the dismantlement of the Department of Homeland Security should look like.
Ilhan Omar is definitely it's about that time. It's about that time. I'm just saying mainly, and I mean trying to be mean. It's just she is making things worse. I mean, just look right here. It says, and this is a post by Ilhan Omar. Says the trauma that ICE has inflicted through Operation Metro Surge will haunt our communities for generations. This reprehensible violence cannot continue. ICE must be abolished and held accountable. Check this out.
For those of you who don't know me, I represent Minnesota's 5th Congressional District. Minneapolis is home. And, the pain of what we are experiencing is going to be everlasting. And I try to tell my colleagues we are a community that has been through a lot of trauma. And the re-traumatization is something that is going to have.
They've been a community that's been through a lot of trauma, but you literally have individuals who's lost their life to illegals that have not only been through trauma, but there are some individuals that have lost their lives that they don't acknowledge. Ilhan Omar is for herself and her Somali community. That's
overwhelming impact for generations to come. Chief McCarthy, thank you so much for being here. I know that when you last testified in Minnesota, we chatted a little bit about the challenges that already existed with trust when it came to law enforcement with folks in Minnesota. And I'm just curious, with the breaking of norms that we have seen with federal law enforcement, can you talk a little bit about the impact that you're experiencing and what you think the lasting impact is going to be as you try to rebuild trust in your community?
Thank you for that question, ma'am. Of course. So since 2020, we've done a lot of work to try to rebuild that community trust. In the short weeks that ICE has been present in our community, that trust is broken. And it's broken in a way that hadn't been broken before on this wide of a scale. And so our residents are wanting us to now interfere with federal investigations. And then when we can't, they are upset and rightfully afraid. We also have cities, in an effort to do something, enacting ordinances dictating that ICE cannot use public spaces. And there's debate on whether or not those ordinances can be enforced. So we're creating expectations and laws that might not be able to be enforced, which will have a lasting negative effect.
Yeah. Appreciate that. And Reverend.
So you literally have, and like I've said, I've thought about this, talked about this. And what I find interesting about this whole thing is that's just like any other thing when it becomes a law is a law, rules is rules. You got a police department. Obviously, there's things that, they aren't, able to do when it comes down to it. And they let those individuals know. You do have, you have obviously individuals that are outraged about this, but at the same time, when the law is law, the law is law. And that's what it is. And I just one thing about this, I don't know why they're making this a whole big deal anyways. This isn't the only time that this has happened. People sit there and pray, and I say Obama because this is what people are doing. They literally sitting there praising Obama on the internet. On Instagram, on Facebook. Oh, Obama, he was the best one, the best president we had, and this, that, and the other. Oh, Obama did the same thing, probably even worse. So, like, I'm highly confused on this.
Galloway, I've been talking to a lot of clergy of all walks of life, and many of them, I was at a Catholic church, and the pastor was telling me that 80% of their parishioners are not showing up. So if you for a minute can talk about what that experience has meant, and then also as somebody who was close to someone who's lost their life to the hands of law enforcement, what that now also feels like having this sort of occupation in our cities.
Yes, thank you, and thank you for being the representative in the area for the church I serve. Sabah Warasin, it is morning. One of the things that I think is really important about the re-traumatizing piece of this, in addition to our ability to keep mutual aid flowing, the money that we have to spend to get folks back home after being wrongly kidnapped and removed from our area before their due process can be enforced, is the repeating pattern. And I want to stress that we've been in the so-called remove or reduce before, and I want to push us to know that that's always been a ploy. And that actually causes an increase in some of that trauma and that anxiety, because we know the pattern has been whenever there's a specific win or that folks feel like the winds have changed against them on this force, they'll pull back on one day, wait for everybody to blink, and then come back in force. We see that after the pullback the last time, there's been an actual escalation on the ground. That is the pattern that ICE has been doing, in addition to roaming and intimidating folks outside of churches, particularly churches whose mutual aid has been successful. So that's been that experience, and that's something that keeps happening over and over again. And we're trying our hardest to keep folks kind of with the eye on the prize. You saw we had thousands of people downtown, left downtown Minneapolis cleaner than we found it at the organization of many faith leaders and coalitions like Isaiah and things like that. But then there's the rebut, there's the response to that always comes after. So even in that drawdown, I have text right now of folks hunkering down because they feel like the backlash is going to be even higher every single time there's a supposed drawdown.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All that I'm hearing is, and I don't want to make this sound bad. I don't want to. They're not really getting anywhere doing this. This is something of making an individual feel sorry for you. I truly don't see how these individuals are constantly making things about them, making things about these Somalians that are clearly in the fraud, that are clearly doing things that they shouldn't be doing, letting them get away with things that they know they shouldn't be doing. But you literally have individuals that have lost their lives due to, and I'm not saying that America is just the greatest place and safe, the safest place, when it comes down to it, the most chillest place. the most perfect place. I'm not saying that at all. But why add more fuel to the fire? Why want that? Not only with, these individuals doing this to children, to these young adults, to these women, but it's taxpayers' money. I mean, it's so many other things that's been going on. And people support this. It's very crazy to me. I'm telling y'all. One thing about it says the Trump administration has revoked temporary protected status for thousands of Somalis living in the United States, including Minnesota. They must leave by March 17th or face deportation. I'm telling y'all. Definitely insane. I'm not going to play this video. It definitely is, a bit wild when it comes down to it. And you just see for yourself on how bad things are in Minnesota. I'm not even going to lie. It's definitely bad. And it's definitely sad when it comes down to it. Make sure you hit the like button. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch y'all next one.